Solar energy and the war cycle is back. Ancient trade routes from Beijing to Tehran. Railroad network opened just 2 weeks ago. Perhaps we're not being told everything that is in play. As we look at the ebb and flow of civilizations over the last several thousand years, many a fingerprint have been left, but these same areas of geography are integral and incredibly important, whether it be ancient trade routes 3,000 years ago or BRICS trade routes and trade routes today. So let's look at the oldest writing systems in the world: cuneiform, Indus Valley script, Egyptian hieroglyphs, Elamite, Cretan on the top, Anatolian, Ugaritic taking a note from cuneiform, Chinese script, Cypriots and the Phoenicians finishing it out. These same areas on the planet still exist. Taking you to Hamadan. This is in northern Iran, a little bit south of the Caspian Sea. Circular layout. Some say meteor crater. Others say ingenious planning 3,000 plus years ago. I'm going to bring you back to the Parthian Empire map. Some 300 plus BC. I love old maps. But to give you context where we actually are on the planet here, I wanted to bring the Caspian Sea and the Strait of Hormuz both on this ancient map here, so we know we're in their correct location. This was previously Persia, or what we know as Iran today. Hamadan, sitting on the map right here for you, just south and west of the Caspian Sea. This has been a highly contested trade route for thousands and thousands of years. I don't see why it would be any different today. The importance of the overland route showing front and center stage. If we can bypass the Straits of Hormuz, who would want to stop that? So these trade routes run through these exact same areas. It doesn't matter the time epoch. It matters the location. As I say, location, location, location. And one of the most important locations, Strait of Hormuz. That little 33-kilometer wide inlet up into the oil-rich areas of our planet is definitely a what they call stranglehold. And if we look at the map, there's actually 3 of them. And you know, well, I'm not going to go there because you can find that news yourself. But there are 3 pinch points. The Suez Canal right off of Yemen heading into the Red Sea. And then the Straits of Hormuz coming out of the Arabian Sea. Which brings me to the point, perhaps we're not being told everything and given the full story of what's going on in these areas of the world currently. But I would direct you to this map here, and almost unnoticed against the backdrop of this event happening across the Middle East, the first railway route from China to Iran, moving through Xi'an, arrived in Tehran logistics hubs, Aprin, on May 25th, coming into what? This is June. 3 weeks ago. As we age, our body's natural collagen production declines, leading to visible signs like thinning hair, brittle nails, and joint discomfort. Most of all, wrinkles. That's right, collagen, or lack of it, is one of the leading causes of wrinkles and sagging skin. Unfortunately, most collagen, typically found on store shelves, doesn't provide the right type or amount of collagen necessary to combat wrinkles. This is why I use multi-collagen. It provides the 5 types of premium collagen that my skin needs to look more youthful and have fewer lines. Plus, it's easy to mix with morning coffee or tea, has no clumping and 0 flavor. Grab your bag now while it's 51% off at healthwithadapt2030.com. Plus, order today and get the 14 Foods for Amazing Skin free ebook and a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and free shipping on your order. Once again, this is a limited time offer and is available at healthwithadapt2030.com. Just click on that link in the description box below. This has been planned since 2021. Now what does it do? It bypasses Straits of Hormuz. It goes straight around it and directly inland to China around Urumqi, which is in Xinjiang. Whoever controls this route controls the past and the future. Part of the Belt and Road Initiative, not widely talked about in the workings that we're seeing. We're given one excuse, two excuse, three, but this is nowhere to be seen as a reason for what is happening. So I'm saying we're not being given the whole story here. So what does this rail route actually do to the disruption of 100% control over that area? Now there's a secondary route and will be a tertiary route, and oil pipelines are going through here. Already 70% complete all the way from Iran to China, which will escape the bottlenecks of the Malacca Straits and therefore direct access to China as a one-way street from Iranian oil without the overseership of certain navies. And of course we have the spur lines coming off the trunk line, and where do those lead? Right up into Russia. So we have the north-south corridor, Russia to the Caspian Sea to India, and these branch lines are coming off like spider webs. And then to the west we get the land access to Iraq, Syria, Turkey, the Mediterranean. Oh wait, wasn't there some hotly contested pipelines going through Syria that were going to deliver natural gas and oil up to Europe too? I think there were, but now we're substituting rail lines, and you see, for some reason, certain interested parties don't want this to happen. Imagine having 80 years of complete control of a bottleneck point on the planet, which you could say, don't do this, do this. We're going to tell you what to do, we're telling you not what to do. And new routes are being built to circumvent that, and suddenly we're going to bring that back to square one again. We cannot let any expansion happen. This is what I'm saying. I think we're giving excuses for one reason, but truly there's something else behind the curtain here. Now this pipeline, as far as I know, it is 70+% complete. Uzbekistan is one of the last areas that needs to be completed. I know the Kyrgyzstan and the Kazakhstan sections are finished all the way in Urumqi, and that whole area of China were complete as well. So now there's this small little area which will be hotly contested. So my guess for the next reason for somebody to be somewhere would be Uzbekistan, because that is the final point. Once those oil pipelines are connected, there's direct pump from the ground, send it to China overland, plus all the intermodal trading that could be done by rail. And apparently this is not one rail line, it is multiples, and they're also branching off from a single into quadruple lines. So this is going to be a major thoroughfare for all trade from China all the way over to Istanbul. So you can see again, who would want to interfere with this? That's the main question. So to make a long story short, bypass this, use this rail line, start your own currency. Oh, by the way, this is the new note, the new BRICS currency as a paper form. You saw the old 100 note as a specimen, but this seems to be an actual physically printed, and notice on it, 3-3. Yeah, with symbolisms everywhere, isn't it? Now, with that being said, as the economy shifts, and this is a possible reset moment here to start the phoenix from the ashes of a new digital system, brings us right into the war cycle and solar maximums. Now, for me looking at this, I say, wow, this is, at least on some nations, their time clock for action. Now, we're coming off a solar maximum right now, heading into solar minimum. So if we go back to 1980, we see Iran in the center stage again, and we go to 1990-91, Desert Storm, of course, and we get into solar cycle 23, we get into Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, solar cycle 24, now we're solar cycle 25. Iran, so what do you think would happen to solar cycle 26 coming up, peaking somewhere around 2035? Anybody's guess? And I might add, when all of these things were happening at around Iran, summer solstice, again, at the apex of the year's energy, at the apex of the solar cycle. Who would have ever thought they would be using celestial and solar energies to time these events for a greater outcome? Esoteric, anybody? And I showed this slide yesterday. Please check it out, the interlooping and interworkings of these fourth turning and these different cycles on longer duration time frames, but this pretty much nails it. Generational cycle, inflation, wage stagnation cycle, credit expansion, credit contraction cycle, and we're right on top of all of these overlaying. And then we have these set of events on the solar cycle on top of the solstice, and I'm like, wow, that is a lot of perfect timing. I just thought I'd throw it out there for some analysis. And global fertilizer markets thrown into chaos after Mideast war shutters Iranian urea production. This is what we call nitrogenous fertilizers. We need these. They're used everywhere across the planet. Declined yields if you don't have this to put on your crops. Some call it 4600. Some would say nitrogen, but anyway, 1/3 of the entire production of the planet comes from Iran. So what can you imagine that would happen if we knock out 1/3 of the fertilizer production, at least this particular type of urea, and highlighted in blue? In addition to knocking out Iranian urea production, knocked out Egyptian productions as well. They're at a standstill. Now please remember, China has limited its fertilizer exports. Third largest in the world was Iran. China's not really loosening its grip on it, so that leaves us in a conundrum here. Where will this massive amount of fertilizer we need to boost yields come from? Not sure, but running the machine's going to get more expensive in Europe. Here we go, diesel margins out of Europe. Oh, straight up that green box. Yep, all related. Now, this will probably alleviate after some time. Like 2022 was that invasion there with Russia. We see subsequent spikes, so this should spike and then decline subsequently over the next few months, depending on where it takes us. So if you're wondering why your food's going to be getting more and more and even more expensive, all the reasons are out there for you. Constricted trade routes, reductions in global fertilizer production, oil price spikes, diesel price, everything on the farm is going to be more expensive to operate. And we're moving into this new digitized digital system with stable coins and all these other things mixed in. Again, I would ask you on the esoteric timing of this. At the peak on the 80-year cycle, on top of the peak of the solar cycle at the summer solstice for the initiation point, I think there was ceremony around it. That's just my opinion. But again, circles of the occult are really focused on these days, whether you believe it or not. They are absolutely the bedrock of their foundation of belief on when events should or should not occur, revolve around these dates. High or low energies to achieve a greater outcome. This is the reason our food prices are going up. Now there's all these other factors that are limiting our ability to grow food, but these man-made interventions that are absolutely knocking the knees out at the very basics to run a farm, diesel fuel and fertilizer. You know, you look at it and you say, is this almost planned to drive food prices to the moon to get us onto digital rationing cards? Oh wait, that would be into the new digital system, Phoenix rising from the ashes. But with that said, you are going to need to grow some of your own food. TrueLeafMarket.com, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. That link's in the description box below. Every purchase you help keeps this channel on air, bringing you information just like this. Please join us on TikTok, Civilization Cycle as well, so we can go live over there, bring you more pertinent information. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.